Okay, time to get going on the interior here, and you might notice trees look a little different out here today. It's been a couple of weeks since I worked on the old 4runner. Got kind of busy doing some stuff with the car and the bike, filming a couple of videos with those before I put them away for the winter. But we're getting back on the 4runner now. Today we got to knock out the interior here. It's not going to be that crazy of a job just because I try to keep my vehicles clean all the time. I just don't really let them get to the point of needing a real big thorough detail inside. But we are still going to go through some of the motions just because we want to make sure we got it nice and clean before we touch up the protection on this. First thing, I'm going to get the dirty stuff out of the way. So I want to clean up the door jambs, kind of work my way from the outside in, just because I'm going to be spraying them a little bit. I don't want to be spraying all that stuff onto a clean interior. Just kind of a matter of working smart, not hard. I have, of course, as usual, Super degreaser here. I'm not really planning to use that too much. That's just if I have a stubborn stain, or I'll be using it on the floor mats and stuff like that, but that's not really what we're aiming to use too much of. This is going to be our workhorse, Griot's Garage interior cleaner. I use all-purpose cleaners and stuff too, but I find this stuff works really good for not leaving a residue. Brushes, I'm using this guy here for the tighter spots. I think what I'll do is I'll be using this in one hand and the vacuum in the other, just to get some of the dust out of all the nooks and crannies around like the stereo and all the dials and stuff like that. This brush, this is a, I don't know, boar's hair, horse hair, I don't know, some kind of dead animal made this. I'll be using this on my leather seats just because this is a softer one and you don't have to worry about chewing up your leather. The leather on my driver's seat is not exactly in the best condition. 4runner's got 216,000 K on it right now. So that seat has seen some stuff. But I don't want to make it any worse if I don't have to. This is going to be used for carpets, just to scrub them real quick. Want to get those clean. And then once we're done spraying any cleaners all over the place, we're bound to make a bit of a mess on the glass. And then at that point, I'll clean up the interior glass real quick. I just like using, this is just, you can buy this at any part store. Stoner Invisible glass. Nothing fancy, but does the job. Now when it comes to the protection phase, surprise, surprise, we're going with some Gtechniq stuff, just like the ceramic coatings on the paint. This is their leather protection product, I guess you call it. L1 Leather Guard. They got some really stupid names for their products, but I love their stuff, so I'll let it slide. It's just kind of a spray-on, wipe-off type of deal. This is C6 matte dash. Same kind of idea. This is for all the vinyl and plastics and stuff. None of this stuff makes anything shiny or wet looking. It just protects it, makes it easier to clean up in the future. This one here, this is Gtechniq I1 Smart Fabric. This is just like a fabric guard, like Scotch Guard from 3M, all those. It's all pretty much the same stuff. And I'll just be doing a quick shot of this on the carpet underneath the floor mats just to protect them a little bit. And then finally, I'm not really a fan of Chemical Goof's products, but this is one that I do like. This is just their interior scent, like their leather flavor. I don't really use it that often, just every once in a while. To treat myself, I guess. I'll do a couple sprays in there, it just makes it smell like fresh leather. And then I got a crap load of microfiber towels here to use. Now, once again out here, I don't know if you can hear in the background, it is super windy out here. Apparently I live in Chicago now or something. I can't really catch a break as far as the wind noise goes. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of set you guys up and do my thing. And then I'll come back later and watch the footage and try my best to explain what the heck I've been up to. And I'm not sure if that's going to show up on the footage, but I do believe it is starting to snow. Awesome! we're starting off with the door jambs. Once again, working from the outside in. Now you can kind of understand why I didn't want to do this after the interior is all clean, even though if you're smart about it, you can avoid getting most of your interior wet. Like, it's not like you're holding a pressure washer directly at your seats and carpet or anything. But I'm just using the hose to kind of break up a lot of the stuff that's kind of gummed in there. Then I'm spraying the jams down with a little bit of ONR. Kind of using it like a detail spray. Not going crazy with this, just using some old towels. I don't care about getting this show quality. After that, I'm doing my first initial vacuum here. And just like I mentioned, brush in one hand, vacuum in the other. The whole idea here is just break the dust free with the brush, and as it pops into the atmosphere, suck it up with a vacuum. This isn't rocket science, folks. We're literally just cleaning dust off of plastic. But I like to do this just because it gets into the vents and all the little tight areas and all the little corners that you can't really reach with a towel necessarily. I found if you're just trying to remove some dust, this is a pretty effective way of doing it. You want to make sure you get into all the little areas that you might not use every day, but might still be getting dirty and dusty over time. That's really the key to interior detailing, is just touching on every part of every surface. Now I'm using my Grio's Garage interior cleaner here just to wipe down all the plastics. And because this is just kind of dusty and it's my own vehicle, I know I haven't been flicking boogers on there or anything. I'm not concerned about getting any of the brushes out, getting a big lather going like I would on a different vehicle. If the vehicle is really dirty, you're going to have a different strategy really overall. You're probably going to want to blow everything out with compressed air first and do all kinds of stuff. But in this case, my main goal is just to wipe off the surfaces and have them clean enough that I can put the new layers of protective coatings on there. Definitely want to clean up the steering wheel, and that's an important part, but you don't want to go too crazy with it, especially on the areas of the wheel that you grab onto regularly, just because those get worn already as it is, just from daily use. And if you scrub too hard with too harsh of a cleaner, you can kind of speed up the wear process on the leather on the wheel. So you want to take it easy on that, but you still want to clean it. And you can see here now on the door, I'm whipping out the brush and I am kind of going for some suds here. And really when it comes to interiors, it's just a matter of thinking strategically, and you got to consider the areas of contact when you're driving. And the main ones would be the steering wheel, the seats, and anywhere that you rest your arms, like in this case, the doors, or like the center console, stuff like that. Anywhere you got your greasy, sweaty mitts all over. So I'm not using a whole lot of cleaner here, even though I am getting it wetter than everywhere else. The main reason for that is because throughout this whole video, you can see it snowing and everything. It was hovering right around freezing, if not a little bit below. And things just don't dry when you're working in those kind of temperatures. Whether you're washing the exterior, or in this case, you're using products on the interior, everything just wants to stay damp and kind of wet. It's really hard to get things to fully dry. And if I would have just soaked this whole door panel or the whole interior with cleaner, it would have been saturated for a long time, and I didn't need to, so I didn't do it. Now for areas like this where you find, like say for cup holders or trays like this, where you get kind of dirt or like spilled coffee and stuff kind of built up into the corners and along the edges, you're not really going to be able to get at that just with a towel in your hand. So in this case, I am getting it fairly wet, and I'm scrubbing it with a brush just to get right in there, and then you can come back and wipe all the suds up with your towel afterwards. And that's really the most effective way to get that clean, unless you're going to step up to fancier equipment like a steam cleaner or something like that. But the whole purpose for this video is to show you guys that you can clean up your interior with nothing more than a vacuum, a bottle of cleaner, and some brushes. And some towels, I guess. Now onto the seats. I'm using that same brush that I used on the door panels for the seats. At one point I thought about trying the brush attachment on the Rufus Hybrid Nano, just to use a machine, because I always thought that'd be kind of fun. It definitely saved some time and some effort, but it was all put away, and I was really trying to race through this thing, so maybe in the future we'll try it out on something. Here's a tip for you guys when you're dealing with your carpets on your floor. You want to have your seats moved, like if you have movable seats, like your front seats, you want to have them moved out of the way for whichever area you're working. So if you're working in the front, obviously having them further back like normal, that's going to get you the most space. In this case, I'm working on the floor in the rear seat area. So before I even start working on anything, I move the seats all the way forward and look at how much more room that gives you and how much more space you can access. Gives you a better chance of being able to reach right underneath the seat where all your French fries and your snotty Kleenexes are. I know you got them on it. Listen, don't try to act like you got a clean vehicle, man. You're watching this video for a reason. I know you got old food under there. You need to get it out. It's starting to stink, okay? So I'm just coming through with the vacuum after I got everything moved out of the way. You guys know how a vacuum works. There's not a whole lot to talk about for this interior stuff. There's not a whole lot of technique involved, kind of like with paint correction and stuff like that. It's just sucking stuff up in a vacuum and basically spraying and scrubbing. Here I'm vacuuming the trunk. Like, I guess that's exciting. You've never seen somebody scrub a vacuum on a flat piece of carpet before. I don't know if anybody's even watched this video, but you know, I had to make it to make sure that this whole series is complete. So if you're still watching up until this point, you know what, guys? You get a internet high five. Maybe we should just speed this up and get through this a little bit quicker. Let's engage fast forward mode here. Another trick, guys, make sure that you're hanging onto the hose of your vacuum with your other hand and not just letting it drag on the door frame or in the door jamb. Because if you think about it, that rippled hose is scrubbing back and forth, and that'll wear right through your paint in those already thin areas. So I see a lot of people doing that, just scrubbing it along back and forth, and you can really cause some damage if you're not being careful there. So it's as simple as hanging onto the hose with one hand, or if you want to be a weirdo, you can hold it between your legs and make funny faces, I guess. I don't know, whatever you want to do. Got some more vacuuming action. Exciting, I know. Okay, yeah, one thing to remember, don't forget to clean your pedals. Because they get dirty with all the crap stuck to your shoes. It goes right on your pedals every time. So just using like an all-purpose cleaner or a degreaser or anything you'd use on rubber, you can go ahead and hit your dead pedal and your regular pedals with it. Scrub it with your same stiff bristled carpet brush. You might have to go in there a few times to get it clean, but it's worth doing. If you haven't already noticed, I'm not really a fan of cleaning interiors. You're not going to see a whole lot of interior cleaning videos on this channel. I know on some of those detailing channels they're really hot right now. And I know that because they're all copying each other's thumbnail picture with the stupid, like the grid of 4 different pictures. One guy has a successful video with that thumbnail and now every detailing channel is knocking off that same thumbnail. Come on, guys. Be original. You can see on the driver's side carpets here, that's actually all discolored, and there's even some strands of carpet kind of pulled out and missing there. And this thing is, the carpet is kind of beat up. I've mentioned it in the past before. I don't know why Toyota decided to put a light gray carpet in a vehicle that's meant to go off-road, but not the smartest choice if you ask me. And it shows a lot of dirt, and this poor carpet has been through a lot. I think before I even got the vehicle, it had seen some pretty heavy cleaning. I'm going to assume it's probably one of those car cleaning places that just hits it with a hardcore carpet extractor and lets it rip. So once the carpets are already really well vacuumed, you want to make sure you get all the loose stuff off there first, because otherwise if you get it wet with a cleaner to scrub it, it's just going to turn into mud and just get really gummy, and it's just going to make a whole new set of problems for you. So that's why you want to vacuum it first and then come in with your brush and your cleaner, and you seem to be going back because there's one spot that needed a little bit more cleaning, and that's really all there is to it. Just keep an eye, just do your first initial pass. You don't want to get it too wet. It's better to do multiple light passes with this kind of stuff than it is do like one really sopping wet cleaning pass. And you come through with a microfiber towel and just pull up as much of the cleaner and the gunk coming off of the carpet as you can. Now I'm going straight to the fabric guard from Gtechniq here. I'm just doing one single layer. I've already treated this before the proper way. I think it's like 2 or 3 light layers you're supposed to do. And I've done that before, but I know with using the cleaner that'll definitely diminish it, so I just wanted to touch it up again. You want to make sure to wipe down any of the plastic surrounding areas, because if you leave the fabric guard on there, it will leave white stains on plastic and rubber and stuff like that. So keep a towel handy and just wipe everything down. Now I'm using the C6 matte dash. This isn't really how they tell you to apply it, but in my experience, it's just a quick and easy way. Spray it directly on there, wipe it in with a towel, and then switch to a second towel and buff off any excess product. Same exact process with the leather seats, only difference is obviously you're using the leather product instead of the stuff that's meant for vinyl. Is it the exact same stuff in a different bottle? I don't know. That's not for me to say, guys, but I'm going to hope that it's not. I like Gtechniq as a company, and I don't want to believe that they would do something like that to us. But same idea. Spray it on, wipe it in with a towel, grab a second towel, wipe off any excess. This is your first time using L1 leather guard, then I believe you're supposed to come back 24 hours later and do a second coat. And for education purposes, I'm going to tell you that I did that the next day. And you're going to believe that, and we're just going to keep on trucking. Now for the cherry on top, a little bit of leather scent underneath the floor mats here. I don't like spraying it directly just into the atmosphere inside because I've found that it does stain the plastics and stuff as the droplets fall. So I spray it under the mats, kind of locks it in there. It doesn't last very long, but this seems to help it last a little bit longer. Alright, so here's the finished product, and this is not a perfect vehicle by any means. This thing has lived a pretty full life already, and it's not stopping anytime soon. But from a distance, everything looks really good. I mean, the seats are clean, they look good. Aside from the driver's seat, it still has some wear that's noticeable. The door panel is nice and cleaned up, dash is good. It was really just a matter of dusting everything off and then prepping the surface before I put the Gtechniq stuff on, a nice fresh coat. So I apologize, this wasn't really an in-depth interior cleaning video. I kind of wanted to go a bit crazier with this. I was thinking about like polishing the marble trim with the polisher and stuff and just kind of going crazy and doing stuff that nobody in their right mind would normally do to a 4runner. But this time of year, the weather just wasn't cooperating, guys, and I thought I just gotta get this video out. If you want to see some hardcore interior cleaning, maybe, I guess, leave some comments below, and in the springtime, after a long, hard winter, we'll get her going on some more in-depth detailing for you. But in a nutshell, it's clean, it looks good, it's protected so it'll be easier to clean in the future. It doesn't smell like farts anymore, it smells like fresh leather. That's good stuff. So thank you guys for watching this, and stay tuned because we're not quite finished yet. We've got a few more little things here and there to finish up with. So I'll see you guys in the next one.